Good morning, people. Again, another day off to work. Something that, most auditors, not all, don't know anything about. Somebody like Chille DeCastro, who is always lying. Why is that dude always lying, dude? Like, he's always trying to cover his tracks, and that's how you know he's, in my opinion, an informer, okay? He is a fucking rat, and here's why, okay? They always lie. They always lie. They got these petty criminal cases on them. They're always wandering around from state to state, room to room, place to place, okay? And he lied yesterday when I happened to get one of his lives in my feed for like the first time in, I don't know, months. So I click on it and be like, oh, let's see what Chille's talking about now, right? He's begging for more money, you know what I mean? Like all the time, we need more money, AI, bail, whatever the hell. So he's encouraging people to get into a lifestyle and a occupation and a means to support themselves that may possibly put him in jail. So he's trying to create the he's created the problem. Now he's presenting the solution, which is you got bail type stuff, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So this is all just my opinion on the dude and the whole situation. Okay. Now yesterday I was on his live, and it hurt me to see somebody who, I once called a friend, who I thought was my friend at one point, okay? I thought he had my back. I thought, he was there for me. So it hurt me to see him begging on the internet, you know what I mean? Like begging other people for money and to get his things done that he can't do on his own because he has no skills, no trade, nothing to support himself with other than the internet, you know what I mean? So it hurt me. I wanted to hook him up. Same thing like before, okay? I wanted to hook him up with how to file lawsuits, how to navigate them, how to file motions and everything. He thought he was helping me, but see, he's twisting the whole situation where he's trying to be like the hero, you know what I mean? Because everyone's the hero in their own story, okay? Now, I told him, it makes me sad to see you begging on the internet to strangers, Chille. I could hook you up and I'll get you into my union, and you could become an apprentice electrician, and in 3 to 5 years, you could bust out as a journeyman making great money with medical benefits. And he started insulting me. He started saying, oh, you're crazy. Oh, the same thing these auditors always say, oh, you're crazy. And man, I try to help you, and you asked me to be your lawyer. And I never asked Chille to be my lawyer. I never asked Michael Eli to be my lawyer or give me legal advice, legal counsel. I asked him for advice to be like, hey, you say that you're a constitutional law scholar. You have any advice for me to do this? Do you have any, can you cover my case? That's all I asked. I never asked for them to be a lawyer or cover my, cover my, my representation. I didn't need that. I had that already done. I already knew that they weren't going to do it unless I shoveled all kinds of money. But he twisted the whole situation to make it sound like I was begging him to represent me. And I go, bro, you're not. I can't even respond because he timed me out. And that's what they do. They time you out. And that way they could talk all the trash they want on you. You can't respond. That way they paint the narrative to their low IQ, low information followers. Okay? The cult known as Delete Lawz. The cult known as We Don't Stop. Okay? Very low information people. Trust me, I've encountered these people. And they follow Chille. So that right there shows the level of their IQ. They're getting arrested for sitting around harassing private citizens. That shows the level of their IQ. It shows the level of their integrity. It shows the level of their honesty. And that's the thing, is I couldn't respond anymore because I offered Chille more help. Okay? He tried to say a long time ago when we were, still talking and good things. And that's what kind of like directed me to be like, dude, this guy's a piece of shit. He said he taught me how to use AI to file lawsuits. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Even my girlfriend heard it and she's like, he's full of shit. You know what I mean? Because I, for one, said you can't use AI to file lawsuits. You could use AI for research, and you could use AI to help you bring up cases and to look up cases, but it's your responsibility to look it up yourself and confirm that these cases are real. Because there's been many instances where I think even maybe possibly in Chille's case, but I follow a lot of cases and I lose track of what the hell's what, but there's been times when lawyers and pro se litigants had been caught using AI, and AI would make up fake cases that didn't exist. So it is the user's responsibility to use the tool in the proper way. It's like using a hammer. You don't flip the hammer around and hold it by its head and then use the handle to drive the nail. And that's basically what Chille's trying to do with AI. He's turning the hammer around and hammering the nail with the handle instead of the head of the hammer. You can't do that. And you know, look at the results of all of his lawsuits. Guy hasn't won anything other than the appeal for his conviction. That's it. And it wasn't even him. He got a lawyer to do it for him. The constitutional law scholar needed a lawyer to help him because he couldn't use AI in jail, I guess. I don't know, but the dude is totally insane. He's talking all kinds of nonsense about AI, bots, and data centers and everything else like that. And he needs help. He needs intercession, possibly even, you know, a psychological evaluation, because he's speaking a lot of weird, non-existent stuff. You know what I mean? And he's scared of flock cameras because he was talking about how they're gonna get a prostitute's face and your face, and if you pick up that prostitute, you're gonna be put into a database. What is he worried about that for? Is he picking up prostitutes or something? Not saying that sex workers are bad or any, I keep it to myself. I don't use them. You know what I mean? That's just my personal choice because I don't need them. You know what I mean? That's just my, anyone could do what they want with their life. You know what I mean? But who is afraid of flock cameras for that reason? Why would you bring up that reason? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. That's just weird to me. But I let people live their lives. If you want to be a sex worker, go do it over there away from me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do at home away from everybody else. You know what I mean? Which is just relax and maybe have a beer every once in a while. You know what I mean? Have a steak and a beer, you know? And that's what I'm gonna do. Okay? You're gonna go there and you're gonna harass cops and scream in people's faces and harass private citizens in front of dispensaries. You guys go do that over there away from me. Don't bring that crap over here with me. Okay? I don't want to be involved in your RICO charges or anything else like that. So, yeah. So Chille DeCastro is a freaking liar, and he's always trying to twist the narrative to make it sound like he's some kind of hero. In my opinion, he's not. In my opinion, he's a grifter and a beggar that will never get anything significant done for the people. Look at the crowd of people he hangs out with. BZWATCHDOG, who was caught by the skip tracer on child, you know, salmon sites. You know what I mean? Supposedly, that's what I've heard from the report from Skip Tracer. And, you know, Floyd Wallace, that was one of Chille's good friends, who got busted in Brazil as a sex tourist, you know, and was caught with minors over there. So, yeah, that's the circle of people he keeps. And then there was another one who got caught with children. And you know, it's the same thing with all these people, man. They're criminals with, you know, most of them have petty crimes. Some of them have major crimes, like, you know, Long Island audit, I think, had a strong arm robbery with a firearm or a weapon or something like that. So, you know, they're not good people. They're people who are familiar with the system, and people who are familiar that there's stupid people out there that are willing to give them money. So don't be a victim of that. That's all I'm saying. But people, you know, have your own mind and don't trust these grifters on the internet, because they're not going to do anything like me. They're not, you know, they don't have the willingness or the fortitude and the integrity to put up their own money, because they don't have money. They're begging you for money, dude. You know what I mean? And if they do have money, they're not going to spend it on a case to fight for everybody else. No, they're going to expect you to fund it. You know what I mean? And it's like, dang, dude. And it's like, poor Chevy just needs to wake up and realize he's getting grifted on, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Poor dude can't see that he doesn't get any results. Nothing at all. He's like the Second Amendment organizations, where it's like they paint this nice little picture where it's like, oh, it seems so nice. We're fighting for your rights and we're here for you and stand behind you. But yet, people like me are still getting denied. And I was there to help, donate, volunteer, and run the booths and do all that, bring in members. I did it all. I did it all for them. And when it came time for me to need help, out the door, ignored, exactly like Chille DeCastro. Okay? These people and these organizations do not have our best interest for the people. If you could bring them money and make them profit, and if you're willing to go to jail while making content so they could cover it behind the screen, like Brian from Here's the Deal, you know, that's another one. He talks all this game, you know what I mean? This and that about PSYOP. He's the PSYOP. You're the MK Ultra, whatever the hell keywords he uses that these informers use. They talk a big game, but never have any action behind them. They don't make any. They don't have any results, and that's 100% true. Okay, you guys need to go to my post and look at that that how to spot an informer video, and let me know right there. Prove me wrong. You know what I mean? That they check all the boxes. Almost every single auditor. Chille definitely checks all the boxes. So you can't trust that dude, man. And I got a witness. My girlfriend went with me to go hang out with him, and she even said those were weird vibes, dude. You know what I mean? Like that was weird. You know, like don't take me over there ever again. That guy is, there's something up with that guy, and I felt it too. I never went back. You know, I tried to keep contact with him to, you know, this and that to get things going and you know, help each other out with legal things, but he wasn't interested. The only thing he was interested in is begging people on the internet for money. That's it. That's all he's interested in. He's not interested in anything that has to do with the Constitution or blah blah, or even overturning Terry versus Ohio, because look, for 6 years that he's been talking about OTVO, his whole fucking marketing ploy, he's taken no action to overturn it at all. And he can. He could. Okay, forget that stupid AI bailout thing. How about you put that money toward overturning Terry versus Ohio? But I bet you anything, 100%, the constitutional law scholar doesn't even know where to begin. The law scholar, okay? All these key words these guys use, you know what I mean? You got to be careful with these people that use these words and use them repeatedly, because they're informers. Okay, people? I just wanted to bring that up to your attention. I finally jumped back on a live with Chille, and the one comment I make real quick, he times me out and talks crap on me like they all do. You know what I mean? That's all they could do is block you and talk shit behind your back, because they don't want you to respond to tell the truth. Okay? And that's them. That's who they are. Okay? I'm doing it openly. I'll even tag them in this video. You know what I mean? But I don't want them to say, "You're harassing me, I'm going to sue you." No, this is just my opinion on the situation that happened, and it's all going in my autobiography, and I'm going to call every single person out that didn't help me, who I reached out to. It's going to be a long list too, so be ready for that, you know. And yeah, and I was actually reaching out to like Active Self-Protection, you know, and their extra channel and everything. So I actually started emailing Mike Wolliver, and he says, "Well, we don't cover anything like your case." But yet, in Active Self-Protection Extra, they're talking about how a person in New Jersey was denied their firearm permit because of his race. Same thing that happened to me. What are you talking about? You don't cover cases like this. Same thing like Joel Persinger from Gun Guy TV. They're not who they say they are. They're not constitutionalists. They're not absolutists, two-way absolutists. They are people who are making money off the internet. And if your narrative doesn't match what their sponsors and everything wants, they're not going to speak about it. So are they really absolutists? That's my question. I'm not talking crap on them. I'm not trying to bring them down. I'm just saying, like, that's the question that came into my head with the response I got from these people. Okay? So, anyways, people, driving to work, so I'll hit you up later. I'm going to jump on the HOTR News channel and watch the Bad Apple Report. It comes on every day at 5:28 a.m. in Western Time, in Pacific. And give them a shout out. Let them know you're there because of me, Pro Se, or Pro Se America, or Cheeky Fella. They know me by both nowadays. So, all right, people, take care. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I love you all, and let's make this a better world, one person at a time, because we're going to change people's minds, and we're going to make them think better, and we're going to make them better people, you know what I mean? But there's some people like auditors, you know, not all, like I said, some are actually doing good work, and I have respect for them, you know. Skip Tracer, I have tremendous amount of respect for what he does. He's very smart and very detailed on what he does, so you guys need to check him out too, the Skip Tracer. Check him out. Okay, peeps, I love you all. Be a good person, okay?